Please welcome Leora Matison.
Hi, first of all, could everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. First of all, I wanna say my greatest sympathies to everyone growing up in Southbury and experiencing the racism here. I have keen memories of encountering anti-Semitism, of encountering neo-Nazis in my high school growing up. And I realize as I say this, I had the privilege of hiding being Jewish, and I know not everyone is able to hide who they are, and I cannot imagine what it's like to go through that. And I am grateful for Justice Southbury for taking a stand against that, because it's something that has been long overdue for decades. Someone talked earlier about interrupting patterns and into families, even if it's hard. And I wanna remember something that the rabbi at the local synagogue here said that inspired me. He said, "If ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise," is not a Jewish saying. Jews should learn about uncomfortable truths, even if it makes them uncomfortable. Such as the racism in the United States, in the founding of the United States, that so many would want to deny. Also, someone here would also like to mention interrupting patterns in their family. Well, my dad, may his memory be for a blessing, but he had a lot of racism himself. Well, some of his racism was unfortunately, against Arabs. He was born in mandatory Palestine in 1945. He grew up going to a bomb shelter during the war, and he had a lot of racism against Arabs throughout his life. So I wanted to be a curse breaker. I wanted to interrupt that pattern. So I decided I was going to learn about Israeli history and present the same way, with the same critical eye I'd learn about American history. And what I learned, well, I have to talk about it. When Israel was founded to be a state for Jews, when it was founded at the same time as the Nakba, which means catastrophe in Arabic. It's what Palestinians referred to the ethnic cleansing of around 700,000 Palestinians at its founding to maintain a Jewish state. To keep the state Jewish, Palestinians were denied a right of return. And this is something I cannot consider acceptable. It didn't end there. The borders of what is supposed to be a Palestinian state continue to be occupied by the Israeli military. Palestinians do not have the same rights as Israeli Jews, and regardless of whatever you want to call this, I am not a scholar of racial discrimination, of whether it counts as apartheid or not. It is clear racial discrimination that is legally enshrined, and in Gaza it has been even worse. I have a Jewish friend who'd been raising money for a friend of his in Gaza. Gaza had been under siege for, 16 years, 17 years? Now, that prevented most people in Gaza from leaving, except in special circumstances. Did not have enough food to go around. There was a lot of hunger, did not have clean water, did not have opportunities. People in Gaza felt hopeless. I wanted to find Jewish communities that shared my values on caring about this. And during the pandemic, with so many religious institutions going online, I found a synagogue, Kadima, that in Seattle, that I liked, that shared my values. Since I'm high risk of COVID, that's why I wear a mask, and I continue to go attend virtually for my own safety, but also because I found a synagogue that shared my values. One member of that synagogue, Chaim Katzman, was Israeli. On October 7th, he was killed by Hamas, and I was horrified to go online and see so many people online saying it was okay to kill him. He was an okay target because he was Israeli. I was absolutely horrified by this, especially since he had done activism against the occupation of Palestine. He had done activism in solidarity. I was very angered by this type of anti-Semitism against Israelis. However, after October 7th, things in Gaza got a lot worse. People in Gaza are under siege, usually cannot leave. It became bombed at an extremely high rate, and the population and density in Gaza is very high. It's a city. Everybody lives right on top of each other. One bomb, it doesn't matter who you're targeting, it's going to take out a whole neighborhood. Humanitarian aid wasn't getting in enough. People in Gaza were starving and continue to be starving right now. And many high-ranking Israeli politicians, including those, my dad, you must remember, was unfortunately racist towards Arabs and dehumanized Arabs, including those my dad supported, were making comments about flattening Gaza and destroying all of Gaza. And it's the comments of high-ranking Israeli politicians that are why the International Court of Justice has ruled this a plausible case of genocide. I am Jewish. My family has experienced genocide. I do not talk about this because I have anything against Jews, obviously, but because my family has experienced genocide. If there's a plausible genocide, I have to speak out. And it's not because I don't care about Israelis, but it's because I care about all my people, and my people include Palestinians too. So I will ask everybody to call their members of Congress and ask their members of Congress to support a permanent, lasting ceasefire and a hostage exchange, in order to save lives in Gaza, prevent lives lost from starvation, from bombing, and unfortunately, members of the Israeli military have been filming themselves commit war crimes against the Palestinian population. So save lives lost from being shot by the Israeli military too, and also save the Israeli hostages, because it's not that I don't care about both. It's because I do. Families of the hostages in Israel are calling for an all-for-all hostage exchange to save their relatives, and the family of Chaim Katzman is speaking out. He would not have wanted a war or a genocide in his name. So, additionally, if you're wondering what I'm wearing, this is a kufaya. It's a Palestinian scarf. The Palestinian community has asked supporters to wear them, and what made me decide to wear them was recently in Vermont, 3 Palestinian Americans were shot for speaking Arabic and wearing kufayas. And when I heard about that, well, if Palestinians are in danger from wearing kufayas, well, there's a story about how in Denmark, Jews were ordered to wear yellow stars, so all of Denmark also wore a yellow star, so they couldn't see who was Jewish and who was not. It's a myth, it's not a real story, but I think it's a useful guide. If Palestinians are currently being shot for wearing kufayas in America, then we all should wear kufayas in solidarity. Thank you.